Yeah, hi Prashant, good morning.
Hi, Arul, good morning.
Let's wait for a few more minutes, Prashant, like
Yeah,
some
yeah,
another
yeah.
2-3 minutes, and everyone's in
Sure,
after that. Yeah.
only data AI only you're teaching or anything you're giving the trainings to other?
For now, only AI, Prashant, but I have another batch that is for a kid actually. He's like
Achha.
13-year-old kid. So for him, I am teaching Python.
Okay, okay.
He
Python.
didn't even know any programming language so far. So yeah, their father and mother are very close to a relative of mine.
Uh-huh.
So they have they have asked me to teach him Python. So for
Yeah,
him
yeah.
alone, I am teaching in weekends, like on Saturdays and Sundays. Like this.
Okay. Nice
Yeah,
teaching, Arun. Yeah,
yeah. Thanks, Prasad. If you are able to get it, then yeah, that's fine.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like you're not teaching like complex way, you're teaching smooth. We are not part of coding background, right? So we can
Yeah,
understand
yeah,
easily.
yeah. That's the ultimate aim, Prasad. Because like people should not feel like this is complex.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, it's a complex stuff only. Yeah, let's try to make everything simple.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, let's wait for 2-3 more minutes and
Okay, sure.
Hi
everyone
everyone, good
joins
morning.
in.
Ravi Jain.
Yeah, hi Ravi.
Hi. Hi Arun, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Oscar. Good morning, Kunal.
Yeah, good morning.
Srini also joined. Yeah, hi Srini, good morning. Okay, let's start the session. Let me share my screen. Okay, you are all able to see my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So on our last classes, we have seen about like introduction to Python. This one we saw on Monday, and this one we covered on yesterday. Yesterday's class, we have covered only variables and data types, along with that, like input and output. And then we talk about like keywords, what and all we should not use and what we should use, right? So did you ever get a chance to go through this notebook or did it, yeah, did you ever go through this notebook, what I'm showing here?
Yes, sir. So for whatever you have covered, just we went through that notebook actually.
Yeah, now you have an understanding of how the code cell is working and how the text cell is working, right? So that is our main thing to insist. Along with that, like some simple things only we have seen so far. So we didn't even go into any of the programming nuances so far. Like, but that also will be simple only. So you don't need to worry about anything. Okay. So up to this point, like everyone is clear, right? So that we can jump into class 3. Or can someone bring up your screen and explain me like what we have covered so far up to class 2? So that is also fine. From there we will start off with the class 3. Hello, am I audible or
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so then I take the silence as yes, and I am proceeding to class 3. Before that, like let me do a quick overview of what we have covered in class 1 and class 2, so that it will be easier for you to follow up from class 3. So in class 1, what we did in class 1, we just gave an introduction to programming. And we explained about how this Google Colab is working. In Google Colab, we have this table of contents in this one, and then we have code cell, text cell. These are the main things. And along with that, we have this runtime stuff. So this is like it's running on someone else's computer. So this is on cloud. So on cloud, how this Python is getting, we are leveraging the Python's cloud. Unknowingly we are using Google's compute engine, so this is also good. And then along with that, like we have talked about like what are variables, what are data types, and we checked we use the type function to check the data types, right? And then like we have converted between data types, and we saw about how to use input function, how to use print function, and we did an example of this also, right? And along with that, like we saw what and all keywords we should not use in Python, right? We tried some keywords also and tried to assign some values also, but that didn't work out, right? So up to this point, like we have covered class 2, and today's class is all about this conditional statements. Like we started on if yesterday, and we will continue this if, elif, else today, and then like we will see about how to do comparisons and what are all logical operators. And then we will see what is loop. And in this loop itself, we have two types of loops in Python. One is for loop and another one is while loop. And how to break this loop and how to use these loops for doing the repetitive tasks. So this is all are the agenda for today's class. And once we understand everything clearly, then only we can jump into the complex data structure part of Python. So this part is very, very important. If we are able to understand up to this day 4 stuff, then I can say like you have covered almost some 60% of Python, 60 to 70% of Python. Then the remaining stuffs are very, very generic stuffs only in Python. So that if you complete all these basics, you could have thought like, okay, how we can understand Python in 6 days, or how we can understand Python in 7 days, right? So that's natural actually. But the simplicity of this programming language is like you can easily understand everything inside this program. And that's why like this data science, machine learning, data engineering. So these kind of complicated areas are growing in Python rather than other programming languages. If we see about Java or doing some other programming languages, those programming languages are always complex only. So it's very difficult to maintain libraries and very difficult to maintain variables over there, right? So Python is having the flexibility to make your keyword also as a variable, but after that, Python compiler is getting confused with either with keyword or your variable like this, right? So that's what we saw in the last class. Right? So this is what was all about our previous classes, and today's class we will see about conditional statements in Python. Okay, so the if statement, I'm just trying to revise it. Yesterday itself we have went through this, but again I'm trying to revise it. Okay, so the if statement is nothing but this is a conditional statement. So using these conditional statements, what we will do, we will simply validate an expression. Okay, expression is nothing but a condition, I can say. This is called as an expression, logical expression we call. Okay, so we are just checking whether a person is an adult or not. Okay, so we know a person is an adult only when he is above the age of 18, right? So for that particular purpose, we need to execute something. Okay, the statement which I am highlighting, right? So we need to execute something based on a condition or based on an expression. Okay, so hereafter, wherever we see the conditions, we will talk it like a kind of an expression. Okay, so what that condition is doing, this condition is validating the left side value is either, this is an expression, logical expression. Okay, it's just checking. So the left side value is getting checked with the right side value. Okay, so the left side value is like this is the source. Okay. So this particular source is either greater than or equal to 18 like this. So for now, to avoid confusion, I'm just removing the equal to sign. This also we will see. Okay. When we are talking about logical expressions. Okay. Before we come to this if statement, let's see logical expressions. Okay. So I could have put this one before this if else, then only you could have understand this. I just made a mistake. Okay. So I will do like this. I will simply select these cells. You know how to select multiple cells, right? Put control and click on this cell so that you can do multiple selection of cells. 19 and 20. Okay. So this part I need to shift it above this conditional statements. Okay. If I am clicking this means that this will shift the cell up. Okay. After I select all these cells, either I can delete it or either I can go down or either I can go up. Or either I can cut, copy, paste like this. Okay. So for selecting this, I need to put control and then I need to select the cells. Okay. And after that, I need to click on this up. Okay, it's shifting, right? Okay, this is conditional statement introduction. Okay. So now under class 3, I have this. I will change this numbers here after some time. Okay, so that it will not confuse. First, we will see about what is comparison. Okay, comparison is like, so the comparison result will be always either true or false. Okay, for example, why we need to compare? Mostly we need to compare to understand like whether this is greater or this is lesser or this is equal to, right? So either there should be 3 cases of comparison. One is greater or one is less than and one is equal to, right? So greater than or less than or equal to. So either it should be of 3 conditions, right? So for this, we will be using some operators, right? So for greater than, what we do, we are using this symbol, this greater than symbol, right? Near to our shift buttons, like this greater than symbol is there, right? So this is for using comparing the greater than. Means that suppose my age is greater than 18 like this, right? So my age is the variable. Okay, I could have get an age as like this. Age is equal to user input of what we will write here. So the prompt, enter your age, right? Sorry, I'm not doing it in the code cell. Then let me do it in the code cell. Okay, I'm just doing a code cell here. Age is equal to input function we already saw already, right? So whenever, so the beauty of this Google Colab is sometimes it will suggest you the code itself automatically. Okay, there is a default code suggester inside this Google Colab. So if it is suggesting a code like this, and if you want to also write the same thing, after its suggestion, there is a gray area here, right? So after it suggests, press a tab button here. So when you press the tab button here, it will automatically take up all the code, suggested code into this code cell. Okay. So I don't want to print this age. I need to compare it. So for comparing it, what I will do, I need to check whether if age is greater than 18. Okay. Then what I will do, print, you are eligible to vote. You can vote. See, this else we will see later. Okay. So what I am doing here, so this is an expression. This expression I am evaluating here. So means that this age, I am getting it as an user input. So the user can input any age, might be 35, might be 50, might be 12, whatever it might be. So here I am checking a condition. So this condition is either it should be greater or either it should be less or either it should be equal, right? So here, if I am checking that condition, for that we will be using something called an operator. So that operator is nothing but comparison operator. Okay. So the comparison operators are like this. So this will always result a true or false. Okay. I'm just expanding the screen. So this comparison operators will always result you either true or either false. Okay. So for that we have this much only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kind of comparisons over here in Python. Okay. So how should you compare it? So when it is equal, suppose in case if the age is equal to 80. So how you will do age equal to 80 like this. So when see why we are using double equal to, like when you are doing a single equal to, it will be an assumption. It will be a declaration. If I do an age is equal to 18, what Python will do? Python will simply store this value of 18 into this age, right? It will not compare. This is like a kind of a declaration. How we see in variables, right? So in variables, what we saw, we are assigning some values like here, see, number 1 equal to means that it is not checking a condition here. You are assigning some values into this variable, right? Even in this case also, here we are putting age is equal to, right? So this equal to is assigning a value. Here also, if I am directly putting equal to, then Python cannot understand, right? It will confuse. Hey, Arul, you want me to assign a value or you want me to compare a value, right? So to avoid that kind of conflict, what they did was they put double equal to, okay? So that double equal to is like, it is insisting whether the left side value and right side values both are equal like this. So it will always result a Boolean output. Either it is true or either it is false. Okay, true or false like this. So this operator will result if both the left and right are equal. Take for an example, I will do like this. Okay, I'm just putting 18 here. Why? Because I didn't convert this into an integer, right? This is not an integer. In last class we saw, right? Whenever we are directly using an input, it will be always a string, right? So I need to convert it into an integer. If I am converting it into an integer, right? It's not displaying anything because this condition is false, right? Take for an example, I will do like this. Okay, print. Here in Python, in print statement itself, you can directly do a expression. Okay, suppose 5 is equal to 5. Okay, this both are equal, right? Left side and right side values are equal, right? So it should return me true. But suppose if 6 equal to 5, no, right? So that will return me false. 5 is equal to 6. So this should return me false, right? This is how this equal to operator is working. Same way we have not equal to. 5 not equal to 5. So this is false actually, right? So this is true. This is true, right? And this is false. I'm just checking this condition. Either 5 and 6 are not equal, right? So it's false. Same way, this is also false. Because 5 is not equal to. So this exclamatory symbol indicates a not equal to like this. Okay, not. This is not and this is equal. So this is not equal to. Okay, so this exclamatory symbol. That is our shift and 1. Shift plus 1 is exclamatory symbol, right? So this not equal to 5 not equal to 6. So this is true, right? So Python should always also tell me the like true, false, false, true. Right? True, false, false, true. Right? So this is how we can check a logical expression. Same way we have greater than, we have less than, we have greater than or equal to, we have less than or equal. We will be printing that also fast. And 5 greater than 6. Okay. 4 is true. 6 is true. And then 6 less than or equal to 5 greater than or equal. True, false, false, true, false, true, true, true. This is also true. Correct. So now, so I just want to test like whether you people are following. Okay, so whenever I make a mistake, sometimes I do purposefully just to make sure like whether you are listening or not. Okay. Most probably, but even I do a lot of mistakes. Whenever you feel like I am doing a mistake, please feel free to correct. Okay. This is true, true, true. And then false, true. Okay. Likewise, you can test with Python. Means that why we are having a greater than or equal to. Sometimes this both values are different. Okay. 5 is greater than 4. But you need to check a condition saying that either it might be equals or either it might be greater. Right. So in our case, we have our voting example, right? Age is equal to int of input, enter your age. Right. So here, what we will do, we will be checking if age greater than or equal to 18, you are an adult. If suppose in case here we need to check two conditions, right? So the voter's age might be greater than and equal to 18. 18 also fine. If I am putting 18, then if I just put only the greater than symbol, then it will be a void condition. This will become false, right? Suppose if I am putting like this, what happens? I'll simply execute this cell. See, it's asking me the age, right? If I am putting 18, okay, what happens? It will say like you are not an adult because we only put a greater than symbol. But actually, the people who are in 18, they are also adults, right? So by that time, if I am putting an equal to condition here, then if I am entering 18, okay, so now I am getting like you are an adult, right? Getting it right up to this part. So this is how this logical operations work. So using this comparison operators, we are returning a result, either this might be true or false. Okay. So based on the true or false, we are using an if condition to test. So what this if condition is doing, first it will evaluate this expression, and this expression might be either true or false. Okay. If it is true, it will execute this. If it is false, it will execute this. Okay. So there might be always two output for an expression. Either it should be true or false. Okay. So this point is clear, right? Or I'm confused. Because if we are able to understand this, then we can directly jump into the loops also. Because here itself, we will cover this if else everything. Okay. So this is how the comparisons work here. The same way we have something called logical operators. Okay, so these are all like booleans, right? True or false. Here also it will be true or false only. But if we want to combine two conditions, two or more conditions, right? So by that time, what we will do is we will be using these logical operations. So these logical operations are nothing but either it should be and, or, and not. Okay. And means you need to return either these both conditions are returning true. True and true is always true. True or false is true. Okay. Either one of this is false is true. And means that this is R. Okay. True and false is false. Correct. We will check everything here. Okay. Suppose in case A is equal to 5 and B is equal to 10. C is equal to 15 like this. Okay. So this A, this 5, okay, 5 is greater than 15 and 10 is also greater than 5. Right? So if I am checking like this, both the conditions are true, but actually this is false. 5 is not greater than 15. Right? Like this. 5 is greater than 15. First it will check like this. Okay, so this is false. Correct?
Yeah.
And B greater than A, that is 10 is greater than 5. This is true. So you have a condition to check either what your condition is doing now. If false and true, what it will be? It will be always false only. Okay, 0 and 1, if you are checking, if using an and condition, it will be always false because it's not like both the conditions are true, right? Until unless if both the conditions are true, then only this will execute. Okay. Until unless both the conditions, like if you are using an AND operator, these both conditions should be true. Then only it will execute. Otherwise, if I am using same condition greater than C and B greater than A. Okay. So in this case, same only, right? Here, both the conditions are true. Sorry, either if it is false or this is R. Okay, we are checking R, not AND. Okay, so we are checking R. Either it is false or either it is true. So in this case, this will become true. Right? So at least one condition is true, then it will print this like this.
So, Arun, here both
Yeah.
the conditions are false, right? You're saying
A greater than C
B is not less than
or
C.
B is less than A. Okay, this is less than, correct. Less than A. This is also false. Sorry, I need to give greater than, right? So I need to give greater than. A greater than C or B greater than A. I am just replicating the same condition. Instead of and, I am putting R, right? So if false or true, then this should be true. So it should always print me that at least one condition is true. Right? At least one condition is true. It will not print this because this is false. Correct?
Yeah.
Getting it right? So the same way we can use not also. Not will be a reverse of that condition. Okay. If actually A greater than B, C is false, correct? So I can use not of A greater than C. So this one, this is like what I am doing. Putting a space here. I am checking 5 greater than 15. So this is false. Okay. I am doing a not here, right? So this not. This operator, what it will do? It will convert not of false into true. right? So now if I am printing here, A is not greater than C like this. So something like this. I can do like checking not condition. Likewise, okay. I need to have this printed because this is false actually. A greater than C is always false. It's not 5 greater than 15, but I am using a not condition so that this is becoming true. Here I am using not condition. So that is making this expression true again. This is false actually. That false, we are making it as true. And if this is true, then I need to print this like this. See, checking not expression is getting true. Means that you can use not operation on a false to make it true. Not operation on a true to make it false. Okay, sometimes we do this kind of nonsense. So this is how we can use and, this is how we can use or, and this is how we can use not functions. Okay, so using these logical operators, we can play around and make the conditions true or false. So so whenever we are talking about logical operators or comparison operators, so the output will be either true or false. So based on that true and false, we are getting out the expected results. Okay, here we are combining the comparison and logical operators like this. This is how we are checking two conditions. Either the age must be greater than or equal to 18 and income must be greater than or equal to 25. Then only we are eligible for a loan. And we can print like not eligible for the loan. Okay. So likewise, we will be having lot of complex condition checks. So by that time, we will be mostly using comparison along with that logical operators. Because these are one or more conditions, right? So this is one condition, this is one condition, right? So one condition alone, if we are checking, we don't need a logical operator, this and not, right? So one condition alone is not needed. Okay. So these are some examples you can try it out in your free time. Okay, up to this point, you are able to grasp like this comparison operators, logical operators, and combining these stuffs. Any doubts out of this so that we can move on to the next one?
All good.
Thanks, Sudhir. Yeah. So up to this point, we have covered this, and next stop is conditional statements. Okay. So in this conditional statements only, we will be introduced to this if, else, and elif. Okay. Here itself, we were using this if. Okay. If is nothing but it is to test a condition. Okay. So if it is true, do this. If it is false, do that likewise. Right. So for that true or false expression. So now you have this expression. Right. You have this comparison operator here. So you did a comparison operation on top of this one, this age. Okay. So by that time you need to test it. Then only you can do some operations out of it. Okay. So I can simply put this alone as a statement. Then it will be simply returning true or false only. Right? It is returning true because age is 18. So this is true. So if this is true, I need to do some operations, right? So for that particular purpose only, we have this conditional statements. Okay. So for that, we have this if, and if this expression is wrong, then again that condition will goes to some place, right? So that's where we have this else statement. Okay. So else is nothing but if this is false. Okay, here in this case, this is false actually. 16 is not greater than or equal to 18. Correct? So in this case, this is becoming false. To make that execute the false area, then we are printing this one like this. So this is a statement which needs to be executed when this condition is false like this. Okay. So here we are testing this condition first, either it should be true or false. So if it is true, then this particular statement will be executed. If this is false, then this particular statement will be executed. So else is to do an alternative action of this if. Okay, so the false part of this particular condition will always fall into else. Okay, and if I have to check multiple conditions out of this particular expression, okay, like this. See, I need to check whether that age is a teenager or also what. So by that time, what we will do, we will use another expression called elif. Okay, so this elif statement will always ask me to put one more condition again here, so that suppose if this condition is false, right? So this condition is false. Again, I need to check one more condition based out of this condition. Okay, so here what I will do, I will add an elif and I will put one more expression here, so that here I am validating one more condition. So if I am validating this condition, take for an example, here this age is 15. Okay, so that age is not greater than or equal to 18, correct? So this is becoming false. So by that time, if we have only else, if and else, what it will do, it will directly jump into the else, right? But I need to check whether this particular age is a teenager or what, right? So if this particular person crosses age 13, then I need to display like you are a teenager like this. So for that, what I will do here, I am checking one more condition like this, elif, and then if I am putting age is greater than or equal to 13, then it is showing something. You are a teenager like this. And if so this condition will be satisfied here, right? So once the condition satisfied, it will simply come out of this if loop. Sorry, not loop actually, if conditions, conditional operator, conditional statement. Okay, so Python will consider these 3 lines as a single statement. Okay, so if you are having an if alone, then this alone will be a statement. If you are having an else accompanied with if like this, then this alone as a single statement, like this alone as a single line. Okay, and if you are having elif also, okay, then it will consider this alone as a single line. Why I am saying single line? Suppose in case if the condition is satisfied, it will simply print this and it will come out of this state. It won't even check for the rest of the conditions like this. Okay, also you can nest if conditions, like if inside if also you can do. Suppose if one condition is satisfied, I need to check one more condition. That also you can do like this. See? You can do multiple elifs like this. Else if, like elif like this. You can, whenever you are seeing elif, you can consider like else and if. Else is for negative condition. And there you are checking another condition. So you can do a nesting of conditions like this. Okay.
So in the above
Also,
statement, sorry.
Yeah.
Can you go to the above one?
This one should
Here,
be,
if we have in the first statement, if age is greater than or equal to 13, and the second statement age is greater than or equal to 18,
it
how
won't
it will
even go to this one, because this
Oh.
condition is satisfied. So it will
Already.
simply print this and it will come out.
Okay.
See, let's try that out. Okay. Let me add a code cell here. Okay, so this is what you are asking, right? If it is 18 means what? It will simply print this and it won't even check these conditions.
Okay.
You are another like.
We need to make sure that order, like it has to go to the second one also.
Yeah, that depends on how we are constructing the program, like how we are architecting the program.
Okay.
Okay, so the same way, like here we have multiple grades, right? The student score might be either 60 or it might be 35, whatever it might be, right? So accordingly, the same kind of condition. Let's adjust this and let's play around. Okay, so if the person's score is greater than or equal to 90, that's grade A. If it is greater than or equal to 80, then it's grade B. Likewise only. So if none of this, if the person is not at all scoring for 60%, then that person is considered as fail. Likewise. Okay. So in this case, we are making the person score as 85. So the 85 will fall under this particular category. This will not fall under this category, right? So this is not greater than or equal to 90. So it will be grade B. See, it's grade B because it's fall under this category. So likewise, so if the person is having some 50 marks, so it will not even satisfy any of this condition, right? So what it will do, it will directly go to this. It will test each and every condition first. It will come here, it will check 50 greater than or equal to 90. This is false. Again, it will come here 50 greater than or equal to 80. This is also false. Again, it will come here 50 greater than or equal to 70. This is also false. And again, it will come here 50 greater than or equal to 60. This is also false. So again, it will check. There is no more elif to check whether that is 50 or what. So directly it will jump to this else. Okay. So wherever you are having an else, out of these tested conditions, if anything is not satisfying any of this condition, suppose this is not satisfying any of this condition, what it will do, it will directly go to this false spot. This nothing is true here. So it will directly go to this false spot and it will execute this. Got it, right? So this is how you can nest an ellipse, nest multiple false conditions. Okay, for a true, there will be multiple falses. So out of that false also something might be true. I am confusing, right? Okay. So you are able to understand this example, right?
Yeah, it will search until it prove as
It
true.
finds a true. If nothing is true, then simply it will execute. Okay, hey, you are not at all giving me a true, so I am just going to print a false.
Okay.
Nothing is matching for you like this. Okay, so it will simply go to the negative part. So this is how an if statement works in any programming language. Okay, and along with that, we have something called nesting. Nesting means suppose if a condition is true, again I need to check a condition inside this condition itself. See, take for an example, if I putting this score as 95. Okay, so now this condition is true, right? So here what it will do, if I am putting another condition to check, score is greater than or equal to 95, likewise. Then what I will do, I will simply put, right? Print first class like this. Okay. Likewise, you can nest conditions. Okay. The same way we are doing here. Okay. Here you need to put a else condition. I put a space here. Yes. Okay. So here itself, I am making the score as 94. Okay, first I am making the score as 94. That is not greater than or equal to 90, right? So here, first what it will do, it will simply come here. Okay, first it is checking this condition. This condition is true. Again, it will go inside this. So here I have one more condition. So if this here also, this condition is getting false, right? So for that, it will go here because this condition is false, but this condition is true, right? Likewise, you can nest these conditions. See, 94 is going to grade A, right? Suppose in case if I am giving 96, it will go to first, right? So the same way, if you want to test multiple conditions, means that if this condition is true, under that, if you want to test one more condition, right? So for that, what we'll do is we will do a nesting. This is called nesting if conditions. Okay, you can nest how much ever if conditions you want inside a program, but that's not a good practice, most probably in computers. Okay, because this will make you confused, right? Most probably they will go with some 2 levels or 3 levels of nesting. After that, they won't do. If I am putting some, see, take for an example, here itself again, I am putting one more condition like this. If score is greater than or equal to 98, print great performance. Likewise, and again, else. Right? If I am doing like this, see whether this condition, take for an example, I am getting 99. That's not at all possible, but I am just simply putting forward class. So if someone is getting 99, okay, that is true when this is greater than or equal to 90. That is true inside this if also. That is again true inside this if also. So it will print me a great performance like this. See, great performance. Likewise, if you want to test multiple conditions, like condition inside condition, you can do that. That also it will allow. But the good practice is mostly if you are crossing above 3 or 4 conditions, better to break from that condition and write some other new stuff like that. Okay, so those are all programming practices when you are coming to do a production grade program likewise. But for our studying purpose, okay, this is fine. So suppose in case we saw about indentation, right? See, this and this should be always in the same positions. Okay, suppose if I am just shifting it left, even if I am shifting it right, that's not an issue. If I am shifting it left, okay, what happens? See, immediately an error will come. Expected intended loss, right? Because this is not inside this if condition, right? So you should always put your statement inside this if condition to make it evaluate. Okay.
So
So
here, sorry, this is not only statement is true, and then up until print.
another, yeah, correct. This should be true until this. If
Print.
any of this go wrong, then it will go to its corresponding else statements. Like this.
Okay.
Okay, this is how nesting if statement looks like. So the same thing they are doing here. Right? So this is how an if statement works in Python. Yes, up to this point we have nested. Right? Up to this point, any doubts? So these and all are conditional expressions. Like so far we have seen about how to play with the conditions and operators. Right? Any doubts so far? So that we can take up the doubts and we can jump into the next section. I know we are going very, very slow just because like this is a complete new programming language for you. That's what my assumption is. And accordingly, we are making you to understand it so that we both will travel in a phase that you should understand everything. Up to this point, if you are not able to understand anything, please let me know so that we can see it quickly and we will jump into the loops.
Yeah, it's clear, I believe.
Yeah, thank you, Srini. So, yeah. So next topic is looping. Okay. Looping means you want to repeat something. Okay. You want to repeat something again and again. Okay. Some cases we need to do a thing again and again until a specific condition is met. We saw about what is a condition here, right? This comparison, logical operators, and see what is a condition, right? So until unless this particular condition is true, okay, I need to do something. So for that, actually, we have two kind of loops. One is while loop and another one is for loop. Okay. So while loop is nothing but this is a while condition. Instead of if, you are putting a while here. Okay. If you are changing this if into a while, what happens was like until this is less than or equal to 5. Okay. Do this one likewise. So it keeps on doing inside this particular statement only. So this particular statement, this statement means what? So the entire block will be a statement. Okay. So here we saw, right? This entire condition will be a statement. This is one statement. So the same way in while also, this is one statement. So inside that particular statement, if you want to execute again and again of this, so this particular condition should be true. If this condition is getting false, okay, then only it will come out of the state. Getting it right? You need to do something in a multiple step. Take for an example, let's add a code block here. Okay. I is equal to, I will say like A is equal to 0 likewise. Okay. And I am telling like while A is greater than 5. Okay. Until unless this is first, let me put a is equal to A plus 1. So here what I am doing is, here first initially I am assigning a value. Okay. So now the A value is 0. Value of A is 0 first. Okay. Here I am checking this condition. What it is doing? 0 is greater than 5. No, right? So here I need to do the condition like this. A less than 5. So 0 is less than 5. So this is true. Correct? So by that time, what I will do, I will be simply printing 0 here. Print 0 first. After that, I am incrementing A value. Now A will become 1. Okay. Again, it will go to this value and it will check. 1 is less than 5. This also true, right? So now what it will do, it will print 1. Now again, A will be incremented. A is equal to 2. So it keeps on going until it should be greater than. Okay, I'm just confusing. Until this condition is getting false. Okay. Check this. Okay. So it keeps on going like this. Okay. So when it will become false, it will become whenever 5 is less than 5. Right? So this is false. Correct? This is A. A I am incrementing here. See, 0 first initially it will come here. A is set to 0. Okay, 0 is less than 5. This is true. That's why it is going inside and it is printing this 0. And then again we are incrementing this A. This A we are again incrementing. Why we are incrementing? If we don't increment, it keeps on printing this. Take for an example, if I am commenting this. Okay, what it will do, it will simply print 0, 0, 0, 0 and it will become a runtime. See, it keeps on printing zeros. See, now it is executing only, right? See, my code cell is completely with zeros. I'm just stopping this execution. Won't allow me to stop. Interrupt. Yes. What it is showing. See how many zeros it got printed. Because I am not controlling this execution. Okay. If I am not controlling this execution, what it will do, it keeps on looping because this condition will be always true. 0 less than 5 is always true. Right? So it will keep on printing 0, 0, 0, 0 only. If I am incrementing or decrementing this particular variable, then only this condition will become false. Once this condition becomes false, that time only it will stop executing this tail. And otherwise, I only need to manually interrupt now. Like I just stopped it here, right? Until unless you take for an example, I am again running it. See, it keeps on executing this. It's actually drinking the system's RAM. See what it is doing. It will, you can see a spike here at some point of time because I am just using the system's RAM again and again. Anyway, it's not going to end. It's going to be infinite. Okay, until unless I disconnect this runtime or until unless I am disconnected from Python, right? It keeps on executing. Right? See, it's still executing. It's still printing zeros. Why? Because I am not at all controlling this one, this EA. Right? So if I stop this, okay, now it stopped. See what it is saying. Python itself becomes error because I am not at all controlling it and it keeps on printing zeros, right? I need to have a controlling stuff. So for that, I just need to make this condition false at one point, right? So to make this condition false at one point, that is 5 less than 5, see this A value is 0 only. So now what I am doing is I am printing the A value here. Now the value of A is comma A. Okay. So now I am executing this. See? Now the value of A is 5. Why? Because first it will go to here. It's not looping infinity because I just remove the command here. Okay. Means that first initially it will come here. It will check whether that is 0 is less than 5 or what. So this is true. It will go inside this condition. It will print 0 first. Okay. So this is the value of A. Now it is 0. And what I am doing, I am incrementing the A. Okay. I am incrementing the A so that now it will become 1. 1 is less than 5. So this is also true. This will print 1 here like this. And then again I am printing A. I am incrementing A. So now this will become 2. 2 is less than 5. Right? It is printing 2 here. And then again it will come here. Again I am incrementing 3. 3 less than 5. Printing 3. And then it's becoming 4 and 4 less than 5. So this condition is also true. 4 less than 5 is true. So it is printing 4 here. And then again I am incrementing. So now it becomes 5. So 5 less than 5 is false. Correct? So by that time, it will not even execute this. It will come out of this. Okay. So when using while loop, there is a chance that you might get into an infinite loop. How I did previously, like we were printing only zeros, right? So until the condition is true, it will always execute this. If the condition is becoming false, then only it will come out of them. Okay. Getting it right. So this is how while loop is working. Okay. So while loop is to execute multiple statements based on a condition again and again in an iterative fashion. Okay. This is what we are calling it as iteration. Okay. When you are executing a stuff for multiple times, then we will be using while loop to based on a condition check. Like it might be multiple conditions, it might be single conditions, or I can say like R A equal to 5. I need to do double equal to, right? That's why it is showing a red error. If I do a single equal to, it will be a assignment. If I do a double equal to, that's a comparison, right? We saw this on this comparison operators in the beginning of today's class. So either if it is 5 or either if it is less than 5, just come out of this loop like this. Okay, I'm just putting a condition like this also. So whatever conditions are there, okay, if it is 5 also, it is executing. Now it is, you are getting 5 also, because I am putting one more condition, or you can do a not, sorry, you can do an uncondition also here. You can do an or also here. Okay, you can test multiple conditions here, and based on that, you can loop it also. So this is also possible in Python. So this is how a while loop is working. Okay, same way we have another loop called for. So for, we will be using it for an iteration. Okay, to understand this for loop, we need to understand how list is working. This list. Okay, on tomorrow's class, we will start about these two things first. Okay, list, and understand, we will understand completely how the list is working, and then we will be checking this for loop. Okay, so here I am putting it, continue for loop here. So after lists. Okay, so for is nothing but this is also a loop only. But for is generally used in Python to iterate a list. Okay, see, that's what they are telling, right? That's what we are telling, right? List, tuple, dictionary, set, or a string. Okay, so you can iterate a set of elements using for loop. So up to this point, we have understood about while loop. So on while loop, any doubts? Hello? Last.
All good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, we are
Arul.
good.
Okay, so that's all for today's class. Like, if you have any doubts, please let me know so that we will go through that topic again once again. I am keeping this Teams meeting open for another 10 minutes so that if you have any doubts, please let me know. Otherwise, we can wind up the call. And one more thing is like, please practice like whatever we have seen so far. Why I am insisting you to practice means this language is having the tendency to make us forget, and especially with Python. Okay, other languages, it will be always easier for us to remember everything. Okay, even if I am not touching this Python for some 3-4 days, then again surely I will forget everything. That's the beauty of Python, because this is the simplest language, right? So you don't need anything to remember for a longer duration, right? So for that you need to practice. So whatever, even if it is a simple stuff also, even if you are printing something, or even if you are doing a length function, or an input output, so whatever it might be, okay, practice everything. Like today we have seen a lot of conditional statements, right? These if conditions and these things like conditional statements, logical operations, right? So all these things try to practice. You already have this access to this notebook. I am just bringing it once again to you. You copy this link. And I am giving it again in the group. Okay, try go through this notebook and try to understand what we have seen so far. Okay, and try to practice.
Can you
Yeah.
share this URL in WhatsApp group also, because this is dynamic, right? If you close the meeting.
Yeah, sure, Srinivas. Yeah, I will share this in WhatsApp also. Yeah, I already shared it in WhatsApp. Again, I will share it in WhatsApp. Okay.
Okay.
So this notebook, try to go through each and every topic we have covered so far. We just left with only these 3 topics like for loops and breaking out of loops. Breaking out of loops is nothing like you are breaking the while loop. Previously, we were stuck into a time loop, like we were printing only 0, 0, 0, 0 in while loop, right? So we can break that also. Inside while itself, we can put a condition and break out. Okay. So for that, we will see it along with the for loops. Okay. So we are still with these three topics left out of our 3 days class up to this point. Okay. We saw only while loop. For loops can be understood after on day 4 class. That is tomorrow class. Okay, today's class is August 22nd. Okay. Please go through this complete notebook except this for loop part. Okay, and try to understand each and every item out of it. Better you can also create a notebook like this and try to execute each and every example over here so that you will get some familiarity on how this programming language is working. Okay, so up to day 3 we have covered up to this point except the for loop. So on tomorrow's class we will be having list, we will be having set, we will be having dictionaries, and after that we will be having the complete understanding of for loop. So up to tomorrow's class, yeah, as I told you earlier, if we complete up to this point, 60% of the Python itself is over. Okay, you will be confident enough to start writing programs. Now itself, you should be having the confidence to start writing the programs. Okay, and please let me know whenever you are feeling any doubts or whenever you are facing any doubts. I am a WhatsApp message away. You can directly ping me on WhatsApp, right? Also, you can bring up the doubts in classes as well, so that everyone should know, right? So that's all about today's class. Yeah, I am staying in the bridge for another 5-10 minutes, so that if you are having any doubts, please raise it. Yeah,
So,
feel free to drop if you are not having any doubts.
Arun, on that last while condition, right? You intentionally was checking two conditional operators, right? It can be A is
This
less
one,
than or equal to also, but you selected A is equal to 5 and A is less than 5 to different.
this one, right?
That
Right,
intention.
Srinivas. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, this is how while is working. Okay, so if this condition is true, it will execute it infinitely. Right?
No,
So
to say like I mean to say like A less than or equal to is also fine, right? Or you
yeah, you can use it like this.
yeah,
I
that's
just wanted to demonstrate this R condition. That's it.
what-
Yeah, it will also come up to 5. If I am just putting only less than 5, what happens? It will come up to 4 only. When it becomes 5, this condition will be satisfied. Right? 5 less than 5, that is false. So 5 is not less than 5. So it will come out of this. See, it is printing up to 4. Because now the value of A is 5. Suppose if I am putting equals to, then it is checking double condition.
And is there a concept like nested whiles also?
Nested while, yeah, we can do Srinivas because this is a statement, right? So inside that statement also you can put one more loopy. So statement inside statement is possible. You can write like this.
No need of break statement over here. I mean, not in this case.
Yeah,
but-
break only we will be seeing at when we are covering up the breaking out of it. Okay, so here
Okay,
here also we can put a condition inside this while itself to make this So the ideology behind it is like whenever this condition is becoming false, okay, that time it will break this, right? So you can forcefully make this condition false inside this. There also you can put a break. Suppose here if you are checking a condition like this,
Yeah, we can.
suppose if a is greater than 2, okay, now I am printing, I can do a break here, right? It will simply do only up to 2. See, it's breaking. So this break is nothing but you are breaking out of the loop like this. At any point you can break it. Break is simply breaking the loop. That's it. Okay, that point we will cover it after for loop because break is common for for and while, right? So that's why I am holding this stuff. I am not at all talking about breaking. Okay, Guna? Yeah.
Yeah, right. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Arul. I am wrapping up.
Yeah,
Yep.
thanks, Ravi. Thank you.
Thanks, Arul.
Yeah, thank you, Prashant. Thanks, everyone. Bye.